Good morning, everybody. Gosh, Monday again already. So today's video is probably a quick video. Actually, it's not going to be a long video, but I just wanted to share my exercise schedule or routine, if you like. I mean, I've never really thought I had a routine or a schedule, but I suppose when you put it down, sorry, I keep looking at my phone, but it's just, I've got a nice little, yeah, Kev's kindly done me a little schedule. It looks great actually, so thanks, Kev. Yeah, I think when you put it down on paper, you think, oh, actually, I probably do have a bit of a routine in the schedule, but because you just do it and you don't really give it much thought. So yeah, and people ask me all the time on the group, like what I do for exercise, how much I do, how long. When I started it, did it help? There's so many questions all the time. So this is a bit of a quick rundown of what I do and what I found has helped me. Yeah, so steps. I mean, steps is a hot topic. Let me tell you, it's a hot topic. So I am going to do a full-on video just on steps and what you maybe think you should be doing, what you shouldn't be doing, because it can be a bit of a minefield, but actually, I think when somebody sits and explains it to you and you know that actually you don't need to be doing 1,000,000 steps every day just, you know, to help. But yeah, I am leaving that. I'm just going to stop that for another video. So steps for me, I've always done quite a lot of steps even before I started the weight loss journey and even got a fitness watch. Because obviously 3 kids, baking, I was constantly on my feet, which I knew anyway, but I never tracked it because I was just wanting that mind frame. I was not even interested. Weight loss at that point was not even on the radar for me. Obviously, I think you get into a stage of, you know, you're overweight, but you just bury your head with it. Life is a lot, so, you know, my focus just wasn't on that. So obviously when I did start focusing on that in the February, it wasn't until the March, I think the end of March, that I actually got this watch. Because I was intrigued and I wanted to know how many steps I was actually doing. And yeah, straight away, I mean, I knew I was doing a lot, but it was always between like 10 and 15,000 a day, which, you know, is great. That's that's a normal day for me. More so now, it's more edging towards like the 15, 18,000 steps a day. Yeah, but for me, that's a pretty generic day, but I know for a lot of other people, that's a lot, and it is a lot of steps. I am busy all day. Like, I don't generally sit down until an evening. Obviously, right now, obviously I know I'm sat down, but yeah, on an evening, I don't generally tend to sit down until the kids are in bed, and which is like 8:30, 9 o'clock. So I generally am on my feet from getting up at 6. Yeah, and obviously being a baker and stuff, you know, that's how I get my steps in and running around after the kids and stuff like that. Walking now, this has been, obviously, I've never really done planned walks, but this has been a thing. So I pick the kids up from school, obviously when it's my days, and I used to, so the kids' car park at school, it's a nightmare. You have to get there early. If you've got young kids at school, you know the school parking situation is just off the scale. So you have to park there early to get parked. So I was doing that anyway, and I'd just sit in my car and just scroll on my phone, just, you know, waste time basically doing nothing. Sometimes it's productive and you need to rest, but I was generally just doom scrolling and, you know, being unproductive. So I thought, do you know what, I'm going to use this time on the days when I've not been to the gym or been able to get to the gym, I'm going to use it to start walking. So I'd make sure I've always got my gym bag in the boot anyway with my headphones and stuff. Yeah, so I was just like, right, let me take a coffee with me, headphones on. Always make sure I've got my trainers and my leggings on or whatever. To be honest though, that actually don't make a difference because I will go if I've got my dress and my tights and my boots on. So I know the shoes that I'm wearing are comfortable, and I know that, you know, they're not going to hurt me after doing 4 or 5 mile walk, whatever. Yeah, so that's what I've been doing now. So every time I pick the kids up, usually is generally 3-4 times every week, depending on how it falls, like with childcare and stuff with the dad. Yeah, I've been trying to get, it's usually about 3-4 miles in, which is great. And then on top of that, like, say if I do, I don't know, 12,000 steps and then do a 4 mile, you know, my step count gets really up there. So some days I'm ending like in the 20s, 20, 25, you know, so yeah, great day, but gosh, my body feels it. So yeah, I'm enjoying that actually, because I can just, for me, when I put my music on, I can just switch off because it's that time for me. It's more of a mental thing than it is the physical thing now, because life's a lot, isn't it? You know yourself, work, kids. Even if you haven't got kids, just life in general, home, looking after a house, husband, chores. It's relentless and it's endless. So for me, for that time, that hour and a half, so I tend to try and get to school at like 2. The kids come out at 20 past 3. I mean, some days I might even get there for half 1. It depends. Like, I'm really trying to listen to my body and my mind as well, of what I need more this year, because last year, gosh, I feel like I burnt myself out pretty much to the ground. Yeah, and then truth be told, I wasn't in a great place. It took a lot to get me back on my feet, if you like, and you guys probably wouldn't even see any of that from outside looking in. But that's social media, unfortunately. It's one of them. It looks like everybody's living the best life, when in actual fact, last year was a lot for me. And I found a lot of solitude in just walking and music. And now that's become my place to find that focus for me again. Which, yeah, now I've found it, I can't be without it. So I do honestly urge any of you, and I mean, come rain, shine. I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't go out when it's absolutely pelting down with rain, but I probably would do if I felt like my body needed it and my mind needed that release and that focus. But yeah, it just gives so much clarity in that time, especially if you're stuck for time of when you can. So I know what it's like when you get the kids from school, you're home, tea, bath, and you can't go out with 3 kids. It's impossible if you don't have childcare and stuff like that. You're done for. So I do urge you, if you are sat on the school run and you've got an hour to kill, honestly, just go for it. Like, what's stopping you? You're the only one I used to tell myself, oh, I can't bother, I'm cold, I'm tired. Just go for it, honestly. Trust me, you'll feel amazing. I mean, probably maybe not the first couple of times, because you'll be like, oh, but actually it becomes a thing and you start to really do enjoy it. Gym, yeah, moving on to the gym. Gosh, I started the gym. I didn't used to do the gym at all, actually. Obviously, I know I did high step count and stuff, so I started the gym, God, the March, I think. So it wasn't long after I'd started. And let me tell you, all I did when I started, because I was like a lot of you guys, the dread of going to the gym and like people staring at you. We think people stare at us, but in actual fact, nobody stares, because genuinely no one actually cares at all what anybody else is doing. And I can hand on heart say that from being a gym goer, if you like, now for a few years. But yeah, the dread. So I would literally I'd sign up to the gym and I would literally get straight on the treadmill, and I used to cane the treadmill. I didn't start off obviously doing 70 minutes, but I started off like 15 minutes and then 20, and I've just gradually worked up over the years. But God, for the first 2 years, I caned the treadmill. I ended up used to do for the last year like 70 minutes, high incline, high speed. And don't get me wrong, like, I loved it. It was a great, it got my heart rate going, and it was a great workout, and I still love that now. I mean, I don't do that now because I've split the time between weights and cardio, which I am really enjoying. But yeah, the treadmill for me was my go-to, like it was my safe space. So if that's you right now, honestly, just keep going with it until you feel that you're confident to move on to another area, because it took me a long time to even remotely entertain it. Like Si used to say to me, and I mean, hindsight, looking back now, I should have started weights when I first started, so I didn't lose a lot of muscle, obviously, from losing a lot of fat. But, I was very much in this, I need to do it my way, because otherwise if I don't, I'm not going to do it at all. So for me, doing it the way I've done it is, like I say, for me, is the best way, because I've done it now. If I'd have listened to a lot of and don't get me wrong, the advice was great, but at the time when you're not in that place to listen, and you're so set on what you think you need to do, yeah, so if you're in that mindset, please just carry on doing what you feel you need to, and one day it will just click. Like for me, I was at the point like, right, I've lost the weight now. I'm happy that I'm fully, aware of what I'm doing on the treadmill and all the cardio stuff, but actually I want to be strong, like physically strong. I want to become stronger, and I want to push myself a bit more. Like, I'd push myself to the limit on the cardio side. Like, I was great with that. Like, my fitness had improved. Oh God, I can't even tell you, honestly. My fitness is, I mean, I know I look like a different person because 11 stone, it is a full person. But even just like little things that I don't know, going upstairs or being able to bend over to put your freaking socks on or to tie your shoelaces, honestly. And if you won't, I don't mean this to sound patronising because I don't at all, but unless you've been a bigger person, and I mean a bigger person, I was 23 stone, like, so I was a big person. I'm under no illusion that I wasn't. So unless, you know, you're around that, or, you know, you won't really truly appreciate the little things that you take for granted, I suppose. But yeah, I've noticed such a difference, like walking up the stairs. I used to be so out of breath, just so many little things. And I think because it's been so long, and I feel like I've forgotten almost that I used to be that person, because life just carries on, doesn't it? You know, but it's only when I sit like now and I start to really dig deep back in there and I think, oh God, that was me and I used to live that life. Yeah, so my fitness, God, worlds away from what it was, and all for the better, obviously. Yeah, it blows my mind actually when I when I sit and think, God, that was actually me. Like, part of me feels really sad because I think, God, I can't believe I was in that mess in the first place and I let myself get to that point. But you know, I just think, God, I need to be gentle with myself. I was a mum of 3 young kids, very young kids at the time. You know, my dad was poorly, my dad then passed away. Like, life was just a lot. I had the separation of my marriage, you know, so when I look back, I think, God, I never gave myself a break. Like, I mean, even now I don't, because I'm so hard on myself, but actually 2025 is the year of me being a lot kinder to myself, and not working myself to the ground. So yeah, I mean, sorry, I went a bit deep there and totally went off track, but that's how much the gym now means to me. It's now my space, not just for the physical, because it's not even about that anymore. It's more of the mental and the way it makes me feel. So yeah, 6, 7, maybe 8 months ago, I moved over to, I thought, right, I'm ready for the change from just pain and cardio all the time. I want to be stronger. I want to feel stronger, mentally, physically. Yeah, so I moved over. So Sai obviously told me like what to do, because he was into the whole gym bodybuilding stuff a few years ago. So he knows what he's talking about. So he helped me out massively, which, you know, obviously appreciated that. He sort of said, right, aim for this. This is what reps you need to be doing, the sets, all that kind of stuff. He'd come and said, right, these are the machines, even though it's like one space in the gym that I go to, but it's like half of it's weights and stuff, and then half of it's like your cardio and stuff. It's like one big open plan, but I always felt like, oh, that's a very separate side, because it's always full of like men. I don't get wrong, there obviously is women that go and do the weights, but when you're in that mindset, you just focused in on like, oh my God, it's full of men. They're going to stare at me. They're going to think, oh, she don't know what she's doing. What's she doing over this side? All totally made up in my mind, because like I said, nobody gives a crap, to put it in the nicest way. Everybody's there. They've got their own music on, they're there for their own thing, you know. If anything, if I see somebody walking to the gym now and you can tell, because you can just tell, can't you, somebody looks and feels nervous, I'm just like rooting for them. I'm like, do you know what? I'm proud. I don't even know you, but I'm proud that you've, you know, got the courage and the confidence to actually step inside the gym and want to better yourself. And then that makes me feel proud for that person, because, you know, I just think, go you, you've actually, you know, worked through your own struggles and your battles, whatever you're telling yourself, and you're here. So yeah, if anything, that's what I think. And I would like to think that other people think that as well. Yeah, so I try and go to the gym. God, totally going off track, but you know, that's just what I do now. 2 to 3 times a week at a push, because again, I'm having to work around the kids' schedule, work. Yeah, it's not just as easy as like, I don't have childcare, you know, to watch the kids and stuff. So I literally go as and when I can fit it in, but I do it generally is what, 2 or 3 times a week. Yeah. And I do, so now I do 30 minutes intense cardio, so still on the treadmill because I just love it. I just put my music on, and again, for me, it's the same as walking. I switch off, I can, you know, get a bit of clarity on stuff, or, you know, think about stuff I need to think, and or just completely switch off, you know, it's great. And then I've been doing like 25 minutes on weights. Really enjoying the weights actually, probably more so than what I thought I would. My body changed a lot actually in a short space of time. Which is strange because I've been so used to seeing it a certain way, and then obviously it's changing with the weights, which is great because you know it's working. But I'm struggling. I'm not, because obviously I'm aware that your body's shape changes when you work in different muscles. You know, I'm not stupid and naive into that fact. But yeah, it's strange trying to get your head around seeing your body changing. and your weight moving up and down, even though you know it's not a fat gain. It's, you know, there's so many different factors. So yeah, I've been intrigued, shall we say, about the changes of my body, which is, you know, it's great. I'm going with it because I'm enjoying it, and again, it's a new routine that I'm still getting used to, very much new to it, but I'm enjoying it, so I'm sticking with it. And then also part of the schedule, the gym that I go to, and I chose this particular gym because I like it. It's lovely, it's clean, you know, it's tidy. But they also do they do all the classes, which I need to actually. I want to start doing the classes this year. So they do a lot of yoga, legs, bums and tums. They do the God, what's it called? The spin classes and stuff. So I do want to try and book onto that. Because I used to do classes, God, years and years ago. Me and my sister Nikki used to do them actually, and we used to really enjoy like boxercise and stuff, and I did like them. So that is an aim for me this year, is to book myself onto the classes, because they're all part of what I pay anyway, so that, you know, it's no extra charge. But they also have the steam room, the sauna, the swim, which I love. So that for me is like my recovery time, if you like. So I've done my time in the gym, the weights, and then I'll go get changed into my costume. And honestly, the steam room, that's my favourite. I absolutely love it. I try and do like 10, 12 minutes in there. I don't really do any longer, because for me that's too much. I'll probably pass out again. If you know, you know. Yeah, so 10 minutes is enough, but I feel like it just, I don't know. It's like magic. For me, it's magic because it just releases all this tension, this built up, anything that I've got, stress. I feel like it literally just melts away. And I know it does the same for a lot of other people as well. And then I'll do a 10-minute jacuzzi, because that's just, yeah, it chills me out and puts me in a good place. And then I'll eat. So I don't swim all the time actually. And to be honest, probably very rare that I will swim. Depends what mood I'm in and how much time I've got. But then I always obviously finish off with a shower. Yeah, get sorted, wash my hair. Yeah, I feel like a new woman. Absolutely love it. Yeah, so that's my, I suppose, exercise schedule routine. It's quite a lot, so let me just be clear that it's taken me obviously a long time to build up to all of that. You know, near on 3 years now, and I know my step count is really high, but that's individual to me. Like yours is your step count for you. But like I say, I am going to do a full video on that, because, as you know, I do want to address quite a few points about that. Yeah, so please don't feel that you can start off at this point and just rush straight into it, because you will do yourself some, you know, frigging injury, and yeah, that's not good at all. So it is a case of that you need to start off slow, like I did, literally 10-15 minutes on a treadmill. And I used to be tired and out of breath and sweating at that when I started. You know yourself and your body, you know what you can push yourself, but just be careful. You're drinking enough water, you know, you're not pushing yourself too much, you're eating, you've got food in your belly, you know, you fueled your workout. You need, you know, I know there's a lot of conflicting advice about fasted workouts and all of that kind of stuff. And don't get me wrong, if you need to research it. You can't just go in blind with it. Like sometimes I will go to a gym if I ain't got the kids and I want to get it in and out the way in the morning. I will get up at 5 o'clock. I've done it loads of times and I've not eaten. But I know that the meal that I had at the evening was a higher calorie one, and it will compensate, and I will use that energy store from that. But I always have in my gym bag, and I would urge you guys to do the same, always got some kind of snack, not fruit because it will probably just be rotten by the time I came to eat it, but cereal bars, stuff like that, something quick that you can grab, because you just never know. Yeah, you just don't ever know if you've just pushed it that bit too far, and you just need to sit down, have some water and have some food. So yeah, that's a bit of a tip really for me. Just make sure you've got something handy to eat. But yeah, please don't push it and try and do too much too soon, because you will do yourself an injury. There's no rush. Take your time, get to know your body, you know, what works for your body might not necessarily work for someone else. What works for me doesn't necessarily work for you. So yeah, but honestly, exercise is the key to mentally, but also physically. And like I say, but there's a lot that comes with it. If you've got a lot of medical history and stuff, and you're not, you know, and mobility and things, just try and do a little bit more than what you're already doing. There's also some great YouTube workouts. And when I first started and I struggled and I had kids, I couldn't get to the gym, I used to do a lot of the Get Fit with Rick. God, it sounds a mouthful trying to say that. But he's got some great step videos. I mean, there's so many other people. That's just the guy that I used, the video that I came across. And I know a few people recommended him. I loved him and he's great. Like the quick, short bursts. The kids used to do it with me. We used to have a laugh. So if you are struggling to get any kind of movement in, yeah, have a look on YouTube. You'd be surprised. There's actually a lot. And again, yoga. I used to do yoga every week, actually. Every Tuesday morning at Moon Cafe. That's now shut down, actually. We're gutted, by the way, because it was my favourite place. But it was a 45-minute class every Tuesday. And then I changed my jobs and it wouldn't fit in and stuff. Gosh, I'm not doing very well today. The second battery then. It beeped and I was like, that can't be dead, because it was flashing green, so it was charged, but it died. So yeah, all I was saying was, just to recap and just to finish that video, was, you know, just take your time, get to know your body and what works. Yeah, what works for you.